My last video I uploaded from this last night, where they're out there screaming and having nightmares from what they did to me. I woke up and I started giving more of the statement what Will did. People scattered this morning when they realized just how evil he is. My one friend that worked at the prosecutor's office said they had trouble in Stark County with people taking backdoor deals, where they let people get victimized or killed for payoffs or something else. They were cutting deals with people, and until somebody else fixed it, that poor victim kept getting victimized or they ended up dead. It's not okay. Like I said, Will should have never got my case. I lived in Portage County. I called the 1-800 line. It should have went to Akron. Excuse me. He should have never even seen my case until it was active. Because Akron should have got it, not the task force in the courthouse in Canton. I lived in Portage County. Exactly. And like Officer Reinhardt said, and the Portage County Sheriffs, and the Massillon Police, and the Department of Justice. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life. And they have to speak to everyone before they start, or it's a legal search and seizure. And they can't look or listen to it. All those departments told me that, and they knew it. And these people are wanted for stalking. So if they want to say retired Judge Pete for his daughter Michelle and his dirty agent friend Will is running a stalking group where they're kicking in people's doors for personal gain, stalking them, photoshopping scenes, and date rape drugging them, and lying they have sodium pentothal reports, and terrorizing victims out of everything they have a life out of attempted murder, then they need to go to jail. 100%, and Will needs to. In the last statement, I gave more of what Will did to me on the phone, where I told you the night before some guy went to Apostolic Church of Barberton and Paul Paymer got in Dave's face. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. And he's pointing at the guy. The guy's actually a Stark County Sheriff. He's a split image of Ludick, where I sent him like a picture of the guy from the cooking show as an example. You got to fill out his face a lot, okay? Young it up. He just looks like Ludick. He could be his kid. He's that close, and it looks like he's gained a lot of weight since the case started. Okay? He's actually a sheriff. People that helped watch me said, they kept telling people they didn't know who he was. How stupid was he showing up in his uniform? He showed up in his Stark County uniform, in a Stark County Sheriff car. Where, my God, Now, either he went up and he was in it with retired Judge Pete. He could even still be Ludick's family because you get a transfer down to Stark County. See what I mean? Could be coincidence, but he looks just like Ludick. Judge Pete's friend, the guy over the district in Portage County. Okay. That sheriff, I bet Will did go up there to get dirt on me. Where they called Will and explained Michelle, August 10th, 11/22, Walmart 62, by the hair salon. They tape an audio in every aisle. And brag, plus my phone's tapped from the case. And the police can hear it through. Okay. If it's on or not. That how they cut a deal with Will to let me get for Michelle. And they thought it was funny people were going along with it. It's illegal for them to go along with it. Well, I tried to tell Will when I called him back on the 4th day what happened. You liar, you confess you're lying, or arrest you. And I'm like, what? He said, where the guy threatened to knife me, came up behind me. And I got away from him, and I went over to the bank, and I thought, you're going to have to do it in front of someone. And he, the Pizza Hut lady came around, and she's getting paid to watch me. The banker's screaming at her, and they're going back and forth, and it's a big scene, and the guy that tried to kidnap me, tried to carjack me, and walks out around me, and she walks off with him, too. And I tried to tell him that. You liar, you confess. What am I lying about? I told the sheriff that. I said, what did I say wrong? Nothing. You said it perfectly. I did. You either confess you're lying or I'll arrest you. I'm like, what? Now I'm already scared for my life. They've been date rape drugging me. I'm not, you know what I mean, processing correctly as far as I should have hung up. The real me would have hung up and called the hotline. But the one that's scared for her life and isn't processing fast enough, you know what I mean, because I've been date rape drugged. It's like, what do you mean you'll arrest me? I said, I say it or I'll arrest you now. It's like, fine, say this. So I did. He started laughing. Literally started laughing. I got you saying it. I said, but you told me to. I don't care. I got you to. I said, that lady got yelled at by the banker. I already got you saying it. He said, I'll tell you what, if I pulled it and where they're standing, if I couldn't hear him, I'd put you in jail. He had a picture of him. Oh, they could have heard it. It was between the pharmacy. It was right by the ATM and right by the bank. There was a good 95% chance he had that guy threatening to knife me. And at the very least, he had a woman admitting she was getting paid to stalk me. And a banker witnessing by screaming at her on the bank tapes to stay out of it. And her walking off with the guy that threatened me. There was no lie. He was in it with Pete. Retired Judge Pete for his daughter, Michelle. And for him to do that, and he's laughing at me like a hyena. And I start pleading with this man for my life. How he starts telling me how he's not going to help me. And then he asked me if he had a girlfriend. I didn't know. Some guy's rambling. Told him stop. She didn't know. Okay, then I'll list you informant, but if you tell someone I'll list you crazy, he's not a licensed psychiatrist. He can't do that. No one can help you. He can't tell the FBI they can't help me. He can say he won't help me, but he can't tell the FBI. He's not over the FBI. He's not over the Department of Justice. He's not over the Constitution. He's just somebody who is badgering a poor victim that's pleading for her life. And they didn't give him a badge to bully people into false statements, obstruct justice, and tamper with evidence. And that's what it's considered. And it's 5 to 7 years. At the very least. So where people are running around, he did that, then arrest him for it. Because what he did is badgering a witness and a victim. He obstructed justice and he tampered with that evidence. And that's how Department of Justice 1729 looks at it. I went out to eat and I was talking to an officer. And he said, you know, you have to take their statement. If you believe them or not, you have to follow through or they can get you for badgering. You lose your badge. You can go to jail for it. So, and here I'm on there pleading, please help me. It's been them trying to kill me, and I'm telling them all the different, if you don't help me, they will kill me. And I'm pleading from this bastard for my life, for him, begging him to help me. And he's laughing at me on a recorded line. Fine, I'll list you informant. You tell someone I'll list you crazy. No, I don't. He can't put those things. My one friend that used to work for prosecutor's office, in any protection program, you can tell whoever you want, and they can't say a word to you. It's freedom of speech. A lot of people keep in contact with 1 or 2 family members, and then they set up meetings. They can't tell you can't say anything. They can't list you crazy. They're not licensed psychiatrists and a judge of having you committed. They are so extreme and they're dramatic. They actually had people show up and say they were men for the courts, and then he actually did that, and they were doing all my legal business. They had actors. They told people I was mentally slow and I had a social worker over me and act like they were social workers doing everything for me. I take care of handicapped people. I have a certificate to pass meds in Ohio. I'm also a notary. I may have post-traumatic syndrome from what these people have put me through, but I am not slow at all. At all. And what Will did is my one friend that used to work at the prosecutor's office said they're running a fraud scheme. And it's a big scam. Like, they could actually do this. And they're trying to say that Pete and Will were in it together when they kicked in my door on the 6th day. I hadn't even moved up there where Dave met Michelle and was helping Photoshop, date rape, drug, and everything. And they're running their own little extortion ring. And they're drug and kidnapping and terrorizing people out of everything they have in life. My God, they need to go to jail. Nothing on those tapes are admissible. They did not have a court order to watch me. There's no such thing. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life, and they have to speak to everyone before they start. Or it's a legal search and seizure, and they go to jail for stalking that person. And the local police already know about the shower scene and the date rape drug confessions with their so-called sodium ecstasy, where they broke in and stabbed me with needles. And you're sleepwalking for 4 to 6 hours. It's not funny to do that to someone and then have giant bruises on me. I've lived through hell from these people. And someone needs to find out what they did to me 12/21/18. I had a doctor's appointment. I went and got a shower. I walked to the refrigerator, and they literally stabbed me in my neck. And foggy, hazy, dark, bright light. Felt myself cry. I got a dent in my head. They lied and said they put a chip in me. More than likely, they just bashed me in the back of the head to finish knocking me out. They probably just raped me. I had marks all over me, or beat the hell out of me. These people were evil. And then they try to say the FBI did it. They even told Dr. Alanatinas on March 13, 21 that the agency did it. And I have a big dent in my head. They were so elaborate they cut my hair off. They're that mentally sick, trying to pull their scams. And what they were doing, and they even framed the FBI for that. More likely, like I said, they probably just bashed me in the back of the head with like a rolling pin and down to my skull, and then shaved my head for a scam. But they were in there with fake badges at Altman Hospital and talked to Dr. Alanatinas. Canton Police went and talked to him and said, we didn't think about what she said before we went and talked to Dr. Alanatinas. They did say that. Someone told them that. They did. They were running this big scam and framing the FBI for crimes. But more likely, they probably just bashed me in the back of the head. Probably raped me and beat the hell out of me because I have bruises everywhere. They're very sick, disgusting people. Like I said, there's a couple of voices I could hear when I couldn't see at times. And it makes me want to scream in terror and fall into the terror. And I could feel this pain. And if you think it's funny for a terrorist group to do this to a victim, what's wrong with you? And if you want to say that agent and that retired judge is running all this, and they planned all this out and they're doing this to other people, so my God, they need arrested. Well, besides the FBI telling me, Miss Hall, we're sorry. That agent badgered you. He bullied you. He scared you to death. You were already scared for your life. You should not have to plead your life for one of our agents. He had no right to threaten you into a false statement. You had crucial evidence. More likely, Dave did call that guy that day. That or the Pizza Hut lady did, and they could have got it back to Dave. He had Dave. He knew it, and that's why. He didn't care I reported the What a Shame guy. I had people looking for him. But he didn't want me to report the guy who threatened to knife me. And I think I did try to tell him what happened at Famers. I don't remember about that part, but the other part, I remember that, and I remember pleading for my life from him while he's laughing at me, begging that bastard to help me. Besides them apologizing. And you know what's sad? Where the investigators showed up and where these people sold the protective light case, and then wonderful Pastor Mike and Ron Monhofer from my church having volunteers come out when I'm out in public to surround me and case me. And there was good undercover police and investigators chasing stalkers off and other people going shopping with me. I thought Will was doing it. And I thought he changed. And it wasn't him. It was the kindness of strangers and the goodness of God laying these on other people's heart to protect me. And he's just a sick, psychotic bastard that he thinks it's funny, victimizing women, making them beg and plead him for their life like he's some kind of terrorist leader, and then setting him up and then letting bastards hurt him. He thinks it's funny with this retired judge. I don't think headquarters listening to that tape of him bullying me out of a false statement and me begging for my life would ever find it funny. And like I said, either Lamar Sharp, Michael Broswell, Amar, or there was a white Michael bald with dark eyes that worked at CSE Bank as security in 1920 on Market in Canton. They know what undercover police were assigned to carrying around the house because they want to make sure they weren't involved with the drugs and the photoshopping. Because those 4 guys actually guarded CSE Bank, but they let those other officers, and they called them officers, in the back of CSE Bank. And they already know by all these people telling on them that the tapes before are Photoshop, shower scene, and date rape drugged and edited. So, yeah, and they've been telling people to stop saying stuff to me. Whoever drives the dark gray vehicle with blacked out windows, that actually worked at CSE Bank. Because the guys would bring one squad car and then everybody else would park around them. So, but I'm going to go ahead and upload this. Praying for a miracle. You know, this is so stupid. They could have said, Will, perfect opportunity. She called the FBI. Grab her case. I want you to put her in the witness protection program. Tell her she don't. There's attempts on her life. 3 witnesses. They're going to kill her. You're not risking her life. She's out of here. Have her sign an annulment. Tell her just take her clothes. Have a marshal go get her. And tell her not to come back for a year. Have the government set it up. They take care of her. Da 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 da. That way, Dave would have got everything. Would have never had to pay alimony. See, that would have been smart. That would have been human. There is no humanity in any